Sometimes life feels a bit like a random coin toss. Heads or tails, good outcome or bad. Well, today we're diving into a truly thought-provoking perspective. It's from the Love and Peace, the Achievable Paradigm article by the Human and AI Educational Institute, our mission, to explore their really intriguing idea that love, peace, harmony, these aren't just lofty ideals, but maybe an achievable reality for humanity. And it seems to start with understanding ourselves as a kind of coin we can actually influence. But maybe first, for those curious, what exactly is the Human AI Educational Institute? Is it like a traditional research group or something else?
Yeah, good question. It's presented more as a conceptual entity, really, established within the article's own framework to explore these new educational paradigms. Think of it as a platform for future-forward ideas, especially around how human development and, say, technology might intersect. What's really fascinating here is how the article proposes that by, purposefully nurturing both our physical and our spiritual capacities, we can actually choose a shared destiny of love and peace. It's about integrating dimensions we often kind of keep separate.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this coin metaphor then. We're all pretty familiar with how a physical coin toss works. What does the article say about the material coin side of things?
Yeah, so it describes the material coin as being, entirely governed by the laws of physics. Simple as that, really. Every flip, every spin, every single fall is predictable if you know the initial conditions, gravity, momentum, all that. That precision and predictability, from the tiniest quantum particle to the biggest stars, that's been the bedrock of all our scientific and technological progress. It's this systematic observation and measurement that gave us, basically everything we know from science.
Right, so our bodies are kind of like that material coin, operating under those same natural laws. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. What about the other side? How does the article define the other side of this human coin? What are those non-physical capacities it talks about?
That's a really important question. Getting into the less tangible, you could say, spiritual dimension of humanity, the article emphasizes that while, our physical bodies are subject to natural laws, we also come equipped with these essential spiritual capacities. It highlights three key ones. First, the heart. And it's described as way more than just the organ, right? It represents our capacity for, intuition, empathy, that inner connection, guiding us towards higher truths that you can't just measure with a ruler. Then there's the intellect. This is our analytical tool. It lets us comprehend, model things, predict stuff in both the natural world and, human interactions. And finally, this is the driving force behind our choices. It transforms insights from the heart and the intellect into actual intentional actions.
Okay, so it's not just about what we think or feel passively, but our active ability to choose based on those insights. That seems really powerful.
Exactly, but that's the core of it. This dual nature of the human coin means we navigate both the predictable material world and the subjective realm of spiritual insight. Yeah. Our inner experiences, our ethical capacities, the article presents them as being just as vital as physical laws.
This suggests a kind of parallel then. If we manage to decode the laws of nature, can we potentially do the same for the spiritual realm? I mean, for many people, the idea of spiritual laws can sound a bit, maybe new age or unscientific. Does the article address that skepticism? How do you measure this stuff?
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's definitely a hurdle for some. The article doesn't shy away from that. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it posits this promising vision for uncovering the laws governing the spiritual realm, much like we did for the material world, but through a different lens. It suggests doing this through a few ways. First, observation and inner inquiry. Obviously, spiritual stuff isn't measured with calipers or scales, but systematic introspection, mindfulness practices, they are starting to reveal patterns. Like you see brain imaging studies on meditation showing real neural changes that kind of line up with ancient ideas about inner peace and compassion. So there's something observable there. Second, conceptual models. Thinkers, scholars, spiritual traditions, they've long proposed universal laws, right? Karma, law of attraction, interconnectedness. The article suggests reframing these ideas in ways that can align more with scientific inquiry. What does it mean to reframe karma scientifically? Well, it suggests it's about observing repeatable patterns in, say, human interaction and consciousness. We observe patterns in physics, so maybe less about mystical payback and more about understanding the predictable consequences of our actions on ourselves and the collective. Kind of a spiritual mechanic, if you will.
Okay. Spiritual mechanics. That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah. And third, integration of perspectives. Bridging these two worlds, material and spiritual, it needs a collaborative approach. Scientists, educators, philosophers, theologians, all working together to create a holistic picture that respects both the hard data and our subjective lived experience.
Wow. Okay. That is a huge shift in perspective. So if we kind of accept this integrated view for a moment, what does it actually mean for how we build a harmonious society, especially through something as basic as, say, education?
Right. To truly harness this integrated paradigm, the authors propose that our educational systems really must evolve. They need to nurture all three capacities: the heart, the intellect, and that strong, purposeful will. And it outlines some specific approaches, like holistic curricula, moving beyond just focusing heavily on STEM, important as it is, to also integrate things like mindfulness, ethics, creative arts. The idea is this fosters emotional intelligence, inner awareness, equipping students to handle not just external challenges, but also their own inner growth. Then there are feedback and cultivation systems. This is interesting. Just like engineers design controlled setups for consistent results, like that precisely regulated coin toss machine analogy, the idea is that modern education and even social policies could use feedback loops to monitor and nurture both physical well-being and spiritual health. So you'd blend quantitative stuff like stress levels or health metrics with qualitative insights like people's self-reported feelings of fulfillment to build a more resilient community overall.
Blending the measurable and the experienced.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, community and cultural engagement, encouraging group activities, collaborative projects, maybe community rituals that reinforce values like love, peace, interconnectedness. These initiatives kind of embody that call from Abdul Baha, who's a key figure in the Baha'i faith, known for focusing on universal peace. His call to counteract negative thoughts with stronger ones of peace and love, providing living examples of this integrated development.
So it sounds like we're talking about a pretty complete recalibration of how we, raise humans, from the classroom to the community, all designed to consciously influence the landing of our human coin. And that, I guess, ultimately ties right back to the article's central promise of love and peace.
Absolutely, precisely. The article really highlights those powerful words from Abdul Baha. When a thought of war comes, oppose it by a stronger thought of peace. A thought of hatred must be destroyed by a more powerful thought of love. It serves as this potent reminder of the potential that's really embedded within every single human being. By deliberately nurturing our spiritual capacities through education, through practice, we can potentially harness a transformative force, one that guides both our personal behavior and our societal systems toward a more harmonious and compassionate future. It really challenges us, doesn't it, to see love and peace not just as nice ideas, but as an achievable paradigm, complementing the deterministic precision of natural laws with the active nurturing of our inner life.
Yeah, it really does. As you think about this whole vision of the human coin, what really stands out to you? The idea that our discovery of nature's laws might actually lay the groundwork for a similar pursuit in the spiritual domain. It's pretty compelling stuff.
It really is. And it invites you listening to consider, if this human coin can be influenced, what's maybe one concrete step you could take today, inspired by this? A step to consciously influence your own landing towards, say, peace or compassion. Is it a daily reflection practice, maybe? A conscious shift in how you engage with difficult news? The article implies it's about consistent, deliberate cultivation, just like a scientist meticulously adjusts variables in an experiment.
A powerful thought to end on. The article leaves us with this idea that this journey, this conscious cultivation, can guide us toward a future where every single human coin lands, showing that radiant face of compassion, unity, and inner wisdom. A future where love and peace aren't just hopes we talk about, but active, cultivated realities we live.